There we are. How you doing, everybody? It's Friday, the 23rd day of March, 2018. What's that? You smell that, Steve?
Boy, I sense a huge collective sigh of relief.
Is that what that smell is?
That's what Friday is.
Friday has a certain aroma.
It does.
To it. It is Friday, the day before the weekend, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Koontz. He is Steve Hare. Kat is in control. I need to ask a big favor from you right out at the top. You're going to have to carry the show today because Kat, our producer, is a little under the weather.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting this cold that will not go away. You are the picture of vim and vigor and health and youthfulness and excitement, and perhaps not.
Maybe not.
No. We're going to endeavor to get through this show together, all right? We got a good show for you today. We were going to Skype with Arch Ecker, the voice of the Wenatchee Wild, Game 5 of the BCHL semifinals between the Wenatchee Wild and the Vernon Vipers tonight in Vernon. What we were going to do is we were going to do this last night. Now, the team is actually staying in Penticton. They're staying in Penticton for the game tonight, and we were going to Skype with Arch last night when he got in, he got settled in, and we were going to tape it Thursday evening and play it back for you today. Well, they didn't even get into their hotel until about 9 last night. Okay. So it just from a logistical standpoint, and you know I go to bed fairly early, and of course Kat goes to bed early, and you go to bed early. It just wasn't. We couldn't arrange it for that to happen. But
needless to say, I'll tell you what, that's going to be quite a game tonight.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
this is huge.
Lot.
This is huge.
And there's bad blood between those two teams.
Well, I don't want to cast aspersions. I'm not going to blame Vernon, but it was Vernon's fault. I just wanted to say that. The end of Game 4, which was a Wenatchee Wild blowout at the Town Toyota Center, got a little ugly. There was some just unnecessary
A hockey game
stuff.
broke out.
Yeah, it was not pretty. I think the BCHL is going to stomp down on that kind of stuff. They're just going to say, you guys got to clean it up. Because the last thing you want to do, and what I think Vernon was really trying to do, was to get some of the better Wenatchee Wild players into that situation where they get discombobulated, they get frustrated, they get mad, and they start throwing punches, and before you know it, they're suspended.
That was a part of the strategy.
Yeah. Find your best player and just start hacking away at him until he drops the gloves, and before you know it, AJ Vanderbeck or somebody doesn't get to play. The Wild are above that, so I'd like to think they are above that. Bliss is not going to let that happen, simply. We do have a guest today. Yesterday, I Skyped with Lisa Bradshaw. Her Don't Wait tour.
That's right.
Is officially underway. She's been at it for about a week now, and we'll talk to Lisa. I won't tell you where she was when we Skyped with her yesterday, but she wasn't here, or else we wouldn't be Skyping. So my Skype interview with Lisa Bradshaw, host of Life with Lisa, will be coming up in the second half of the show. Not a bad weekend. Temperature is a little below normal. We'll get to that. As far as the weather forecast, we got the pass report. Sports. A number of prep games never got underway yesterday because Mother Nature said, no, going to give you the day off. It rained.
Quite well in terms of 24-hour rainfall totals.
We got 0.20, just less than a quarter of an inch of rain over the 24-hour period, which wasn't a record, but it was enough rain.
I saw in one little note there on the National Weather Service, they're saying it was 0.34.
No, I had 0.20. Yeah, I had 0.20. Somewhere in between there. We didn't set a record anyway. That's the first thing you do when you have a lot of rain, you look for records. We did not set a record for yesterday. Anyway, forecast details, pass report, sports, what am I forgetting? Today in history, birthdays, obscure holiday. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. You have news. I think we got it all.
I think we got.
You ready to do it?
I think we got the whole full gamut today, don't we?
We got the full whole. We got cameras from around the Wenatchee Valley is what we got, courtesy of Local
It's Friday, folks.
Sky-Fi, high-speed wireless network. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley proper. It is Friday. Not a bad day today. Things looking pretty good. For those of you who are new to the area, Wenatchee is on your left. East Wenatchee is on your right. Sunny Slope is at the top of your screen.
And a river runs through it.
That's right. And the lovely Wenatchee Heights area is behind you. That is our always batting lead off whenever the camera is available. Occasionally the camera isn't working, and occasionally it's so foggy and rainy that you can't see anything, but today we can. Camera 2, as selected by Kat, our award-winning producer, brings us to the Lower Butte.
Lake Wenatchee, or Lake Chelan.
Lake Chelan. Three Fingers, Sunset Marina, Chelan proper. That big bright thing on the far right-hand side of your screen is the sun, and Lake Chelan, full of H2O. And I've said this before, Lake Chelan is a beautiful place to go any time of the year.
Lady of the Lake is probably getting ready to head up lake towards Tehican right now.
I would have to think so. Camera 3 is that the Waterville camera? Moved around a little bit? That's Jump Off.
Jump Off Ridge.
But that has also been moved. That's Jump Off Ridge. Normally it's tilted to the point or moved to the area where you can actually see the Wenatchee Valley. That's Jump Off Ridge. By the way, don't jump off Ridge. Just don't do it.
Patches of snow up there, but it's...
Yep, it's rapidly melting away.
Starting to deplete.
Yep, no question about that. Camera 4, I hope it's Billy Goat.
Yeah.
Yes, Billy Goat. Look at that.
Boy, earlier, I'll tell you, it was quite spectacular with that rising sun.
This is time lapse. See, this is earlier. This is about 12, 13 minutes ago or so, Steve?
Nice job, Kat.
Look at that. This is on tape. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes...
You can see the confluence of the Columbia River with the Methow River and Pateros there. And
here, look at those clouds coming through.
I love this shot.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? As we mentioned before, this camera is about 6,800 feet in elevation. It's way, way up there. And here comes the clouds. Isn't that cool? Let's not even do the rest of the show. Let's just throw this on.
Is there an old fire lookout up there someplace?
I don't know. Obviously, you have to physically get to this area. I'm assuming something else is up there besides that camera and Sasquatch. Outside of that, I don't know.
And there's one up the Eniad, I know, way up there. My wife had a chance to spend the night in that fire lookout one time when she was working for the Forest Service.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. And we're back at 7 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. You ready for a weather forecast?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We still have the residual effects of that cold front that brought by. Now we're all but dry. We're going to get a little bit of rain, maybe even a snowflake or two. Clouds this morning, gradually becoming sunny this afternoon. High of 47 is about 10 degrees below normal because that system that brought us all that rain, Steve, also had a chance to usher in some very cool air. That's why we're only going to get to 47 degrees today. That is well below normal. Slight chance, and I mean the slightest of slight chance of a snowflake tonight. If we get anything coming out of the sky, it's going to be rain, and even not much of that. 34 for the overnight low. Here's your weekend. Kind of a mixed bag Saturday, partly sunny, 50, again below normal. We warm up to 52 on Sunday, again below normal. By the time I get to Monday, it's closer to normal, sunshine at 55, and look at that high temperature Wednesday.
Boy,
look at Wednesday.
Finally getting back into the 60s
Look
again.
at Thursday.
That must mean that opening day of baseball is right around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 1 week from yesterday. It's 6 days away. I believe the Mariners open up with Cleveland. Is that correct?
Do they?
Yeah, that's at the safe. So I can't wait for the baseball season. That's your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Your past report would come from the National Weather Service, but then it would be inaccurate because that's not their department. It belongs to the Washington State Department of Transportation, and they're all good people. I love them all. Live shot of I-90, no advisories, no restrictions, occasional light snow.
And it looks like Dan right out of the shower. Mostly bare and wet.
Yeah, mostly bare and wet. Then I become bare and dry later on. Some light snow, it's not sticking to the roadway. The roadway is pretty much bare and wet. That's Stevens, and as you can excuse me, as you might imagine, pass advisory, traction tire advisory on Stevens Pass, compact snow and ice on the roadway. Although it is not snowing, it did snow earlier in the day. And
got a little snow up on top of Blewett, too.
Yep. Not snowing right now. That's residual snow. That's leftover. Traction tires are advised on Blewett. Forecast today, 2-3 inches of snow for the mountain passes today. Maybe an inch tonight, maybe an inch Saturday. Not a lot to worry about. If you want to wait a couple hours, Steve, the roadways will get better. Traction tires advised on Blewett and Stevens. No advisories nor restrictions on I-90. You want my cold?
No.
Okay, I offered. 9 minutes after the hour. The news is next with Steve Hare. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
Every golfer aims to play their best, and smart golfers turn to the golfer's edge to get the golfer's edge. PGA professional Ed Payne has you covered from tee to green. You can work on your swing or play 18 in air-conditioned comfort on the golf simulator. Tanya's Corner has all the apparel the golfer needs at sale prices. And Ed can even rebuild your favorite set of clubs or custom make you a brand new set. Ask how you can qualify for a free 30-minute lesson at the Golfer's Edge on Mission between Kittitas and Yakima.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Well, welcome to this March 23rd, a Friday. Here's what's happening around north central Washington in the news. First of all, Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl says a Rock Island man has been arrested in connection with the reported child abuse. The Douglas County deputies received the report on March 16th from the mother of 2 children who were staying with their father at a separate residence. According to this report from the Sheriff's Department, the mother received a call from one of the children saying that their father was hitting them and that she needed to pick them up. Once at the father's home, she noticed bruises on the faces and backs of her 8- and 6-year-old sons. The sheriff says deputies located and arrested the father on Wednesday. He's been identified by the sheriff as 37-year-old John Strickland of Rock Island. He's been booked into the Chelan County Regional Jail on 2 counts of third-degree assault of a child. A search warrant for the suspect's trailer was obtained and evidence was seized there as well. Wenatchee Police Department welcomes a new officer to the ranks. On March 15th, Officer Natalie Bryn Jones graduated from the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission Basic Law Enforcement Academy. Here she is, pictured with Chief Steve Crown at the recent commencement exercise. Officer Bryn Jones actually received Outstanding Officer of the class number 763. It's a recognition based on the highest overall achievement in all phases of basic training in her class. So welcome to Wenatchee's Police Department, the finest, and that's Natalie Bryn Jones. Anti-gun violence supporters are taking to the streets of Wenatchee tomorrow. Several groups are sponsoring the March for Our Lives event, which is being held as follow-up to the student walkouts held last week. Saturday's event includes a march starting at 3 p.m. from the parking lot of the old Hastings bookstore on North Mission Street. That march will culminate with a program and speakers at Memorial Park. Chelan County is among the top 10 healthiest counties in the state. The rankings are contained in a national survey conducted by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Chelan County is ranked 10th on the health outcomes list, with Douglas County coming in at number 13 among the state's 39 counties. Health outcomes in the county health rankings report represent measures of how long people live and how healthy people feel in general. Chelan Douglas County Public Health District Administrator Barry Kling says this study is good news, but he cautions there are still problem areas that need attention.
But I always try to remember the context for the rankings. Our state is active participant, unfortunately, in the obesity epidemic and the opioid crisis. We've got plenty of health problems, even in our, quote, healthiest counties. So, it's important to realize it's all relative. And it's kind of like being at the top of the class, but the class average isn't all that great.
Now, the survey ranked Grant and Okanagan counties lower on the scale, 24th and 32nd, respectively. The county health rankings and roadmaps report help communities identify and implement solutions that make it easier for people to be healthy in their neighborhoods. Well, due to passenger demand, Alaska Airlines is adding more daily flights to Seattle. NCW Life's Grant Olson has the story from the Chelan County Port District.
Starting May 20th, 2018, 7 more daily round trips per week have been added to the schedule. Trent Moyers, Pangborn Airport Director, says the demand was there.
You lack of filling up the seats, as it were, on the flights that we do have. So Alaska's adding some additional seats, more capacity to meet the demand that we have currently. It opens up some more opportunities for people to make connections out of Seattle without the longer layovers. So that's really, I think, a benefit to everybody here.
Moyer says now that the extra flights are a reality, they need to be used.
The mantra has always been, if folks want more service, use what we have. If we want to be able to keep that fourth flight beyond the summer schedule, that would just be what I would ask people to do, is just continue to fly locally. That's what generates additional service.
Beginning on May 20th, the new schedule will feature departures at 6 a.m., 11:15 a.m., 3:20 p.m., and 6:44 p.m. 6 days per week, with 3 flights daily on Saturdays. For more information, go to alaskaair.com to see the complete schedule. Grant Olson, NCW Life News.
Elsewhere in the news, Congress has passed the omnibus spending bill, averting a government shutdown. Senator Maria Cantwell announced this week that the budget contains a funding boost for the U.S. Forest Service in its firefighting efforts. Cantwell said in a news release yesterday that Pacific Northwest lawmakers worked together to force Congress to finally address the persistent shortfalls in wildland firefighting budgets. She added that this puts an end to fire borrowing and is a start to giving the Forest Service the predictable resources it needs to reduce hazardous fuels. Now, the funding boost will allow the Forest Service to prioritize work in areas closest to populated communities in order to save lives and reduce the risk of property damage while still protecting public lands and existing environmental laws. Now, the spending package also includes $100 million for fire prevention projects and recreation programs, and it halts the continual migration of funding from non-fire programs to pay for the rising cost of firefighting. Over 400 students from throughout the Northwest are gathering today at the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. The annual Mariachi Northwest Festival is this weekend. Festival Director Ramon Rivera was on a recent Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program. He tells us it's not only a chance for younger musicians to learn from professional musicians, but also a chance to learn about higher education and career choices too.
We have schools that are coming from Mount Vernon, from Seattle, from Vancouver, from Walla Walla, Spokane, and because Mariachi's capital of the Northwest is Wenatchee, so all of them come and they want to learn from the best, which is Mariachi Sol de Mexico. What's really cool is that they have the band plays the songs that they're going to learn. They're going to learn, they have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced workshop, and the students can choose a level and they get to work with the professionals, and at the end we get to play those songs on the stage at the Town Toyota Center, and that's my favorite part, when all of them come together and do that. But also, we also are pushing higher education, so they're going to get, Central's going to do a workshop about higher ed, Eastern Washington University, and one of our biggest sponsors this year is the Chelan PUD. The PUD is talking about careers in the PUD, and so what's really neat is that the kids get pulled out and get to work in small groups with the PUD and talk about career opportunities. So we're using music, career opportunities in higher ed. I mean, it's a good match, and having this in our community, so it's just a beautiful thing.
And again, the festival concludes tonight with a gala concert starting at 7:30. Tickets are on sale at the Town Toyota Center box office. Finally, there's plenty to see and do the first weekend of spring here in the Wenatchee Valley. In fact, Megan McPherson has a full rundown of activities in our events calendar today.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The Wenatchee Valley College Foundation will host a Piatigorsky Foundation concert featuring solo guitarist Jack Sanders Friday, March 23. This event is part of the WVC Foundation Community Appreciation Series. The concert is free and open to the public. Doors of the Grove Recital Hall open at 6:15 p.m. and seating is limited to 150. The foundation recommends reserving your seat early as this popular event filled up early last time it was held. To reserve a seat, call 509-682-6416. Singer-songwriter Carrie Newcomer invites listeners to pause the perpetual motion of their lives with her new album, The Beautiful Not Yet. Life is always lived between then and soon, right here and now, in the beautiful not yet, Newcomer says. On the album and in a companion book of poems and essays, she explores how we might live more present, engaged lives, even in the face of division, uncertainty, or heartbreak. It's happening Friday at 7 p.m. at the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts. Nonprofit Day takes place at Pybus Market Saturday, March 24 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be over 40 nonprofit organizations in the concourse with representatives ready to tell you about their programs and purposes and how you can use your volunteer time, energy, and knowledge. Prom dress giveaway is happening Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Mission Village. Junior Service League of Wenatchee will be focused on helping girls in need pick out a prom dress to wear for the big spring event, making their dreams of wearing a beautiful dress to the prom a reality. Prom, however, is more than just the dress. There is hair, nails, dinner, photos, tickets, and other accessories. There will be a raffle for these items and accessories to complete the look and overall prom experience. The event is free, but students must show their student ID to be admitted into the event. And finally, bid winter farewell and celebrate the arrival of spring at the Wenatchee Apple Airs annual concert on Saturday at 2 and 7 p.m. at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. With the theme Spring is in the Apple Airs, the concert will feature melodies designed to stir memories of joyous springtimes. The program will be emceed with the dynamic energy by the Felt Vipers, Puppeteers, and featured performance the students in the Eastmont Marimba Band. Get your tickets at numericapac.org. For more information on this weekend's events, visit ncwlife.com.
A lot more happening in the Valley over the weekend. We just couldn't fit it all into one little snippet there. But boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, it's that time of the year. Springtime and events are just prolific.
Yeah, everybody's done hibernating.
Yeah.
And it's the weather gets warmer and sunnier, and it's time to just do things.
And by the way, for more information on all the events here in the Valley, just go to our website, ncwlife.com, and go to the events calendar.
And I have it up right now.
Yeah.
In fact, I wanted to mention the interview I did with Ramon Rivera, the director of Mariachi Wenatchee, and the man who's putting together this Northwest Mariachi Festival for their 20th annual festival, which is all day today. They're bringing back the gentleman who began the Mariachi Wenatchee program 20 years ago and started the festival 20 years ago. He's living in Los Angeles now. He and his wife are going to fly up, and they're going to be specially honored tonight.
I remember interviewing him many years ago when I first started at KPQ Radio.
And I forgot his name, and I apologize for that, but they're bringing him up as a special guest for the 20th anniversary. And the headlining group tonight from Los Angeles, Mariachi Sol de Mexico, that Ramon talked about. This is one of the top 2 or 3 mariachi groups in the world.
Yeah.
These are the best. Hit records, concert tours, the whole 9 yards. So if you want to see some really, really good stuff and hear some really, really good stuff, Town Toyota Center, 7:30 tonight.
Love to see it.
Your plans for the weekend?
My weekend plans.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the trailer de-winterized now.
That's right.
And we're probably going to test her out, see how she does.
Have you picked a name for the trailer yet? You got to name it.
How about Little Toot?
Little Toot?
Little Toot.
I still like the assignment.
Just a tug, you know.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. The news with Grant Olson will not be seen at 5 o'clock tonight. We will preempt that. We have Eastmont High School baseball. We'll be carrying Game 2 of the Eastmont Eisenhower Cadet doubleheader, which is happening at Dan White Field. Game 1 is at 3. It'll go to about 4:30. Baseball doesn't have a clock, so you don't really know. Then they take a break, and then they play Game 2. We will have Game 2 with Eric Granstrom, who, by the way, I don't think sleeps anymore. I think he just doesn't sleep.
Yeah, he's up
like
all the time.
I don't know how he does it. Kudos to him. So about 5 o'clock tonight, we will have game number 2 of the doubleheader between the Wildcats and the Cadets from Dan White Field. We'll have that live, our first baseball game of the year. So if you tune in at 5 o'clock for the news, you're going to see baseball. I say watch baseball. It's good for you. It cures for what ails you. But we will have the news for certain at 10 o'clock tonight. And don't forget, it will be available on demand late afternoon, 4:30-ish.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on our website. Click on it, because you don't have to watch Grant's news on TV, or as we say in the business, television. Steve, you want to do the usual voodoo that you do so well, let folks know how they get a hold of us?
That's right, folks. We're always looking for news ideas. If you have some issues or topics you think we should be covering, well, here's how you do it. Right below me here with our contact information. ncwlife.com. You can contact us. Just press that little tab at the top of the page. Facebook, Twitter, also good ways to get in touch with us. Also, the preferred choice is email. And you can contact us at our address, news@ncwlife.com. And as always, looking for breaking news, too. And if you see it happening, call us on the hotline, 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295 for our news hotline on NCW Life.
Sports is right around the corner. In case you missed it last night, Gonzaga's long winning streak is over. They will not be returning to the Final Four. Florida State took care of business. Zags have been eliminated. Also, we'll have whatever prep results happened last night. There wasn't a lot. Mother Nature kind of put the kibosh on a great deal of the sporting activities.
NCAA has just been one upset after another.
It has. It's like our, you know what it reminds me of? All the upsets and the unpredictability. It reminded me of our Monday morning staff meetings.
Yeah,
it really does. Yeah,
it also,
it's
all the criticism about how the brackets were set up kind of eliminates that argument, doesn't it?
I think the NCAA is going, this is the dream tournament.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody's talking about Loyola of Chicago, and nobody even heard of that school 3 weeks ago. You know, that kind of
absolutely.
deal. That's it. There's a lot of good storylines for the NCAA tournament. Sports is coming up, the obscure holiday. We got birthdays today in history. A brand new, never seen before, everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. And my interview with Lisa Bradshaw, she's on the road. The Don't Wait Project is on the road. And I Skyped in the studio with Lisa yesterday, and we'll play that back in the second half of the show. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 42 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
High school sports is back this spring on the NCW Life channel. Do you like baseball? We've got you covered with the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats. How about softball? We have you covered there too with fast pitch action right here. How about lacrosse? Yep, got you covered there too with the Wenatchee Valley Thunder. And of course, there's boys soccer. Whatever your interest, we've got you covered on your home for high school spring sports, the NCW Life channel.
27 minutes after the hour, a cool day today. Some light sprinkles this morning, sunshine this afternoon, but our forecast high of only 47, about 10 degrees below normal. Well, Gonzaga's run of 16 straight wins to get to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament came to an end last night. Florida State ended the Zags' run with a decisive 75-60 win last night in the West Region semifinals. Gonzaga just couldn't make any shots outside, inside. And their run is over for the year, but a good year for them anyway. Number 11 seed Loyola of Chicago's Cinderella story continues. They advanced to the Elite Eight, a 69-68 win over Nevada. Michigan and Kansas State also punched their tickets to the Elite Eight last night. 4 games in the Sweet 16 today. There is your schedule. Clemson and Kansas State start things off at 4:07 on CBS. That's followed by West Virginia and Villanova, 4:27 on TBS. Syracuse and Duke will do battle at 6:37 on CBS, and then we wrap it up tonight. Texas Tech and Purdue, TBS, 6:57. The Wenatchee Wild are in Vernon tonight. Game 5 of their BCHL playoff series with the Vipers. Wenatchee tied, of course, the best-of-7 series with 2 wins at home over the weekend. In fact, the home team, over the week, I should say. In fact, the home team has won on all accounts in this series so far. Tonight's game starts at 7. Game 6 tomorrow. Back in Wenatchee, Town Toyota Center, 7:05. And if they need to play Game 7, it will be back in Vernon on Monday. Let's go to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from yesterday. You see a lot of postponements. Yeah, the rains wreaked havoc on the prep schedules. A lot of postponements. Cascade and Cashmere never got their soccer game underway. Brewster did top Manson, however. They got that one in 2-1. They were able to get some golf in yesterday in Chelan, the Wenatchee boys and girls. They defeated Chelan, with the boys coming out on top 193-229. The girls victorious 242-255. All the tennis matches scheduled for yesterday rained out. Girls softball yesterday rained out. Cascade, Cashmere, they'll have to make their game up later on in the season. They'll be able to fit that in. Very busy prep schedule for the weekend, and Mother Nature is going to cooperate. In baseball, Wenatchee will play a doubleheader in Yakima. They're taking on Davis today at 3 o'clock. Eastmont hosts Eisenhower. And at Twinville, First game at 3. The second game will be here live on the NCW Live channel, probably around 5 this afternoon. Kashmir will host Ording in a single game today at 4:30. Tomorrow, Kashmir will host Chelan in a doubleheader at 11 a.m. Cascade travels to Omak for 2. Tomorrow, beginning at 11. It's also an 11 a.m. start for Waterville. Mansfield at home against Tenasket, and Orville is at Manson. Both games doubleheaders. And softball today. Eastmont plays a couple of games at Ike. Beginning at 4, Wenatchee will host Davis, doubleheader at Walla Walla Point Park. Also in girls softball tomorrow, Orville is at Manson. Tenasket will travel to Waterville. Mansfield. Granger is at Chelan. All the games are doubleheaders. All of them begin at 11 o'clock in Manson and Waterville, and then 1 o'clock in Chelan. Boys soccer this weekend. Today, Cascade travels to Prosser, 4 o'clock there. Wenatchee is at Ike, 7 o'clock. Eastmont will host Davis at 7. Tomorrow, Kashmir will host Royal at 11. Granger is at Chelan at 1, and Manson will host Bridgeport starting at 4:30. A couple of big track meets this weekend. Chelan and 23 other teams will be at the Raycross Invitational in Ephrata. That begins at 11 a.m. And Wenatchee will host Eastmont, Cascade, Kashmir, Snohomish, Lake Stevens, Kentridge, and Hazen. The Ray Cockram Relays start at 11 in prep sports over the weekend. Other things going on. In tennis, Chelan is in Sela for the Viking Invite tomorrow morning at 9. Antioch will play at Omak. Kashmir will host Tenasket at 11. In golf, 18 teams will play in the traditional Jack Barnes Memorial Invitational at Three Lakes tomorrow, 10 a.m. tee time. And here's what we have on tap for sports. Our broadcast schedule. It begins today, as we mentioned, Eastmont and Eisenhower baseball. Right around 5 o'clock, we'll have it here live. Then tomorrow at 1, we'll be at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Wenatchee Valley Lacrosse, the Thunder will take on Hermiston at 1 o'clock. And also we'll have Wenatchee's playoff game against Vernon this weekend. Game 2 will be on tomorrow. Game at 7, and then Game 3 Sunday at 7. Also on the weekend calendar, slide number 13, if you're keeping track at home. The 4th annual Arlberg Sports Squirrel Cup ski race is tomorrow. Starts at 8 a.m. at Mission Ridge. There's also going to be quite a few lacrosse players in town. The Icebreaker Lacrosse Tournament is at Walla Walla Point Park Saturday and Sunday. The tournament is for 1st through 8th graders and is hosted by Wenatchee Valley Lacrosse. And finally, baseball. The Mariners had some more late inning heroic bet. They done good last night. Kirk Newenhouse homered in the bottom of the 9th inning to tie it at 4-4. Then Mike Ford delivered the walk-off RBI double to win it. Seattle beats the Rangers 5-4. The M's are in Glendale today. They'll take on the White Sox 105. KC Lawrence gets the start for the M's. How you doing? It's 32 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the obscure holiday on March 23rd. Today is OK. It's National OK Day. That's the emoji for OK. It's not and it's not it's OK. Probably, people really don't know. You got to do a little research. Many people think, the experts in their field think that OK might be the most used word around the world, which is odd because it's not really a word. The origin of the word OK is really not known. Nobody seems to know where it came from. They think it might be some sort of Native American language that we ourselves adopted. Is OK a verb? I think it is. Whatever it is, today is National OK Day on March 23rd, 33 minutes after the hour. It is March 23rd, today in history. 212 years ago today, March 23rd, 1806, Lewis and Clark said, it's time to go home. Lewis and Clark and their Corps of Discovery began a long trip back from Fort Clatsop all the way back to St. Louis, Missouri. That is the replica of where they stayed in the winter of 1805 to 1806. The actual original fort, Mother Nature just kind of obliterated. They built they reconstructed what they thought the fort would look like in about the same area where they thought it would look like in 1955. That burned to the ground in 2005, and they rebuilt it again, and there it is. Fun fact about this trip, remember now, Lewis and Clark, it took them a year and a half to travel from St. Louis to Fort Clatsop in Oregon, but it only took them 6 months to get from Oregon back to St. Louis for 2 reasons. Number one, they knew the route. That helps a lot. They didn't know the route when they were going there. They knew it when they were going back. And of course, once they crossed the Continental Divide, it was all downriver. Makes it a lot easier to travel as well. They left Fort Clatsop, and by the way, they gave the fort to the Native Americans who were there. They said, well, we're leaving. We don't need this anymore. You can move in if you want. They did. And on this date in 1857, 161 years ago today, Elijah Otis's first elevator was installed in that building, the EV Out building in New York City in the Soho neighborhood. The building is still there. That's a modern picture of it. It was a 5-story building, this building was, and it was no taller than any other building in the mid-19th century in New York City. Didn't really need an elevator, but the guy who owned the building sold really expensive things, silver and china and things like that. So he said to Otis, put your first elevator in my building because people are going to come to it just out of the curiosity and the novelty of the darn thing, and they might stick around and buy something. Turns out they did. It was a good idea. The original elevator is long gone, but the building is still there. Fun fact about elevators, it is by far the most widely used form of mass transportation in the history of the world. Every 3 days, elevators carry the equivalent of the Earth's population. That is a lot of people in a lot of elevators. And finally, at 35 minutes after the hour, got one birthday today, Gino Ariema. Gino Ariema, there he is. He is, of course, the head basketball coach of the University of Connecticut Lady Huskies. A lot of people think he's a bit of a divisive figure. He's 64, by the way, today, Gino is, because the Connecticut basketball team, the women's basketball team, has simply dominated their sport. There are people who say that kind of domination is unhealthy for women's basketball. I'm not going to weigh in one thing or another, but I'll give you some amazing facts. He has the highest winning percentage among NCAA basketball tournaments at any level, men or women's. His .883 winning percentage is the greatest of all time. 11 NCAA championships, most of all time of anybody. 113 tournament wins, most of anybody. 18 Final Fours, most of anybody. Most undefeated seasons, men or women, 6 of them. Most consecutive Final Fours, 10 in a row. They can make it 11 this year. And the most consecutive wins, you remember one time a few years ago, the University of Connecticut women's basketball team won 111 games in a row. Gino Ariema celebrates birthday number 64 today. 36 minutes after the hour, and everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion that you've never seen before. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes, and then my interview with Lisa Bradshaw, the host of Life with Lisa. A road trip is underway. We'll check in with Lisa when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
Clean Oak Crunch.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life channel the Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series, only on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter And like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
How about having majestic mountains, a beautiful shoreline, and 26 acres of lush walking trails be the backdrop of your special event? Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp has cabins, meeting spaces, and a lodge with a kitchen that will accommodate large gatherings. Our staff at Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp will work with you to ensure that your wedding, retreat, class reunion, or birthday is amazing. Reserve your day today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, one of the many suggestions being kicked around to deter school shootings is improved mental health services. Well, I agree with the concept that better identification of potential shooting perpetrators and the application of directed and subjective services to these individuals is definitely a step in the right direction. However, as with all suggestions to deter school shootings, better mental health services, it's a limited answer, as mental health counseling is only effective if the individual receiving the counseling wants to be helped. You know, that old joke comes to mind. How many counselors does it take to change a light bulb? Well, only one, but the light bulb has to want to be changed. It's true. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
The relationship between the lifetime warranty and our service department is our service department's award-winning, and they keep people's cars running for longer. I've had customers where they were waiting for their car to die, and it just wouldn't die because our service department was able to keep it running.
For longtime customers that are going to maybe have a new driver in the family in the next 4 or 5 years, the lifetime warranty is powerful. You're always going to have protection.
I'm Jenny Rojan-Asatian, and this is WUWV-TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
43 minutes after the hour, my good friend Lisa Bradshaw began her Don't Wait spring tour last week with a big kickoff event at the Pybus Public Market. If you're unfamiliar with what she's doing, she has her car and she has a trailer and she's driving all over the western United States, reminding people that if you have a dream or something you really want to do, don't wait. Yesterday, we had a chance to catch up with Lisa Bradshaw via Skype, and here's that conversation. Hello, everybody. On an occasional basis, once a week or so, we're hoping and endeavoring to check in with Lisa Bradshaw, host of Life with Lisa. As you well know, she is down the road on her, 6-week sojourn across the country, mostly in the West, but she's going to go all kinds of different places. The Don't Wait Project Road Tour is officially underway, and we're chatting with Lisa via the technology that is Skype. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. It's a little chilly
but it's good. I'm doing good.
So where are you now? Tell our viewers where you were physically located now.
I am in Vancouver, Washington. So I was in Seattle for 3 days, and it was beautiful, sunny, lovely. I had a great time. I was there for 3 days, got a lot done, and now I'm in Vancouver until tomorrow.
And then
Today's Thursday,
and
right?
you're heading south from there?
Yeah, just keep heading south
Where the
until
weather
I
is
get
warmer.
to Phoenix, and then I turn back up.
So let's go back in time a little bit. It was just about a week ago that you had your big launch party at the Pybus Public Market. In fact, I believe you filmed an episode of Life with Lisa there. I have not been able to see the footage nor the show. So how did it go? Did everybody was there to wish you safe travels? Talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see it either. It was really terrific. Pybus is so good to me and to the Don't Wait Project. So I pulled the camper in with the car and had it kind of roped off. People could peek inside and taped my show there. Had Blair McHaney, retired Dr. Dave Nodder, McKenna Schwab, who was my kickoff story. A friend of mine, Jill Terrio, made a lovely quilt for me for the road. Just a really nice send-off. I really appreciated the support.
Speaking of nice send-offs, the publisher of the Wenatchee World, Rufus Woods, had a very nice write-up on you. It was extremely well done. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I did an interview with him on his podcast, and he was really great too, because he's like, "Can I air it?" And I said, "No, I haven't even announced it yet, but let me announce first, and then you can air it." So he's been great, very, very supportive, and I'm supposed to blog for them as well along the road, but I haven't had time to do much of anything yet. Today's a day where I'm not traveling. I don't have any interviews scheduled today, so I'm just working on footage I've already gathered and catching up and starting that blog.
For the uninitiated who don't know exactly what you're doing, you know, I know, but give folks a little idea of the entire genesis of this trip and why exactly you're doing what it is that you're doing.
Well, I started the Don't Wait Project in 2011, and it's just really giving people the idea of doing the things. I call it the nouns in life, the things, the people, places, things, and ideas that sometimes we give up on or lose sight of along the way for whatever reason. So this tour is going out and interviewing people about their Don't Wait stories. So the kickoff story was a Wenatchee resident, McKenna Schwab. Most people know her from Max Bar Foundation. She's raised almost $1 million for Seattle Children's. They love her there. They arranged an entire afternoon for us. I got to interview her medical team, her doctors, the foundation representatives. It was just a really, really great send-off to get to show all that she's done for that hospital through the fundraising in our community. I mean, she's had bake sales that have earned $7,000, so it's pretty incredible. So those kinds of stories, just a lot of feel-good stuff, and trying to make sure that's what it's focused on.
As you mentioned, you spent 3 days in the Emerald City of Seattle, and one of the things that you did while you were in the Emerald City is you were on Margaret Larson's New Day Northwest program. Talk about that.
It was fun. I was on it like 6 years ago, and they are just great people and very supportive of endeavors like this. So I got to do that. I did an interview on Cairo Radio as well, and then I did an interview with our old friend Rebecca Callahan, who has a show there. I did an interview on KKNW, so it was a pretty full couple of days.
Are you getting used to trailer living? For those of you who don't know, Lisa is towing one of those kind of newfangled teardrop trailers.
Yeah.
They're not exactly commodious, but are you okay with it so far?
Yeah, funny story. I had a friend in Seattle come and take some stuff with him, and I'll get it when I get back. So I had brought a big monitor for editing. I'm not using that. I'm using my laptop. I had brought my guitar. There's no room. There's plenty of room for I just started throwing things in at the last minute that morning and realizing, okay, that's not going to work. So I've got it all set up. I'm in the trailer now. It's raining outside, and I was cooking breakfast earlier, so I was able to lift the gate thing to the kitchen, so I was undercover. It's a great setup. I'm really grateful.
Are you used to towing anything in a car? Is this whole thing new to you? Something's behind me and I'm towing it.
Brand spanking new. I never pulled anything behind me at all. So I just I've learned how to back up, sort of, and it takes a couple tries. I think I want to invent something for the person who has to back up and get right under that hitch ball. Why isn't there a sensor or something that goes off and tells us when we're there or we're getting close, beep, 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 something? I don't know if that exists, but you have to get out, look, until you get right there to latch the ball hitch onto the trailer in the car. But yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Lisa, how much of your itinerary is planned? You're going to be in this town or this city on this date to interview this person, and how much of it is just going to be spur of the moment and see what happens as I cruise down the road?
Well, the feature stories are planned. So there's at least one feature story where I'm interviewing someone in depth in every city. And then I'm having events as well where people at like pubs and wine bars and people meet and greets sort of thing, and I'll get some stories out of that. But every city is planned, just not necessarily don't know what will come of that city. So I at least have one story planned that helps me at least know that I have some content to give back to you guys for my show every week.
And that's actually going to be my next question before we cut you loose and let you get back to breakfast or lunch, whatever it is. How are you finding these people? How is the word getting out that Lisa Bradshaw is going to be in your town and I want to talk to you?
It started out, I did a lot of research online, just Googling and looking into, one friend recommended that I look at GoFundMe pages, and I found 3 really good stories that way, because people on there are usually doing some pretty incredible things. And word of mouth and social media, so now that it's getting around and picking up followers on Facebook and picking up followers on Instagram, then people are tagging people and, hey, you should tell her your story. And I'm directing everyone to the website, don'twaitproject.org. Also, the Don't Wait Project for Facebook and Instagram. But on the website, we have a contact page where you can send us your story idea and that sort of thing. I don't think I'll be able to pick up a whole lot of stories along the way, the feature stories, but definitely someone stopped me on the street yesterday after I taped New Day Northwest, and so I started filming her on my phone. So that kind of thing. Just open to whatever comes.
As Lisa drives down the roadway, you can't miss it. It's a beautiful car with the treader behind it. It's got logos all over it. Are you drawing attention as you're cruising down the highways? Are people honking and waving, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And that was the idea. I wanted to create a spectacle for sure. I wanted to, huge shout out to Town Toyota, who's sponsored this whole deal, and Les Schwab helped pay for the wrap for the car. And then Apache Camping Center in Everett provided the camper. So they worked out a deal with Toyota for me. So just, everything has been planned for about 8 months. So far, so good. I'm on day 3. I got to take a shower today, so that was good. So it's just been kind of adjusting to all of that, but a lot of fun.
So this is day 3. The next time we'll talk to you will be about day 10 or 11 on this sojourn. When we get together next time via Skype, do you have any idea where you're going to be?
I have a good idea. I think I'll be in Weaverville, California, and that's like a little tiny place just as you get into California. And I'm supposed to do an open mic night. I'm supposed to play guitar, which I've never done.
Well, and you didn't bring it.
But I have a great story there, and I'll be spending a couple of days there. So
good. Anything else you want to add with our viewers before I cut you loose?
Just a huge thank you to everyone who's been following the tour and looking out for me and making sure I know people each place I go. I mean, that's the great thing, is for this trip, at least, I know someone in every city, and people are showing up and supporting the things that I'm doing, and the community there has been so great. So I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. It's to get to storytell at this level is really a dream come true for me.
Well, we want to wish you safe travels, and a quick heads up, next week when we visit again, I'm going to ask about what you're listening to with all of those hours in the car. I'm very curious about that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Lisa. Until then, safe travels. We'll see you next week, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
High school sports is back this spring on the NCW Life Channel. Do you like baseball? We've got you covered with the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats. How about softball? We have you covered there too with fast pitch action right here. How about lacrosse? Yep, got you covered there too with the Wenatchee Valley Thunder. And of course, there's boys soccer. Whatever your interest, we've got you covered on your home for high school spring sports, the NCW Life Channel.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Collins Fashions has a fabulous selection of clothing, handbags, jewelry, and shoes for all events in your life, such as work, errands, celebration, travels, etc., etc. And our professional caring staff will assist you in coordinating your wardrobe and choose a perfect gift for that special someone. Our many fabulous brands include Joseph Ribkoff, Tribal, Jag Jeans, Tommy Bahama, and we are your Brighton headquarters for North Central Washington. We are grateful for our wonderful customers, and we look forward to seeing you at Collins, where fun and fashion meet in downtown Wenatchee.
I'm Dr. Ron Singleton. See how Ideal Protein can help you.
I started Ideal Protein about 10 months ago. I'm down 123 pounds and a little over 50 inches.
Using Ideal Protein, I've lost 37 pounds in just 10 weeks.
I lost over 52 pounds in 4.5 months on Ideal Protein. This has been a wonderful journey. The food is great and it's a very easy program to follow.
This medically designed program has repeatable, safe, and effective results. Call us today to schedule your weight loss consultation.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel.
We got a few minutes to kill before we get to 8 o'clock and start getting closer and closer to our weekend. So News Director Steve Harris rejoined us. He's now going to read a list of everybody who did not win the lotto on Wednesday. Go ahead, Steve.
Me.
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 I didn't play, of course. Big weekend coming up. Let's get you going with your weather forecast. Let's recap what we did at the top of the hour. That's what it's looking like for today. Kind of a mixed bag, unsettled. It's going to be overcast, some light rain possible this morning. Gradually, it will become mostly sunny. High today of only 46, 47, right around there, Steve. And that is about 10 degrees below normal. Could get a little bit of light precipitation tonight. There's a 20% chance of something coming out of the sky.
Hurry up next week.
Yeah, we just need to get to next week. 34 for the overnight low. Weekend, partly sunny Saturday and about 50. That is still below normal. Nothing but sunshine Sunday. I like that. But again, that 52 is still below normal, Steve. And then we gradually will begin to warm up Monday night into Tuesday night. What are you doing? You're wearing your slippers. You don't have socks on. Steve has no socks on. By the way, we thank goodness we don't have a camera down there.
I'm looking at Thursday's temperature, and that's what's
yeah.
giving me some encouragement.
Passes right now, a little bit of light snow coming down on all three major mountain passes. Traction tires are advised at this hour on Stevens and on Blewett. No advisories or restrictions on I-90. They're not expecting a great deal of snowfall, by the way, in the Cascades. Programming reminder, high school baseball at 5 o'clock tonight. It is the second game of the doubleheader between the Wildcats of Eastmont High School and the Cadets of Eisenhower High School. 5-ish is when we'll be carrying that game, so you will not be seeing the news with Grant Olson at 5 o'clock, or almost certainly 6 o'clock. There is our sports broadcast schedule for today. It says 6 o'clock on the screen, Steve. Going to be closer to 5.
Boy, local sports dominates the weekend.
Yes. Speaking of weekends, I know you got big plans. I know I got big plans. My big plans is just to get over this cold. It's just, I've had it for over a week, and I just can't seem to shake it. It's driving, and I'm doing all the things that they tell you you're supposed to do, and it's just not working.
Well, I'll tell you what, chicken soup.
Chicken soup?
Chicken soup. It works every time.
One little story that Steve's going to be working on today, this whole back and forth between China and the Trump administration. China announcing this morning that if Trump goes through with his tariffs, China is going to retaliate with tariffs of their own, including a 15% tariff on apples from Washington State. Could be
U.S. apples, yeah.
U.S. apples, which is us, essentially. That could be a big one.
Yeah, we talked to Washington Apple Commission President Todd Fry over here a couple of weeks ago about those fears, and well, it sounds like they're justified at this point. But you know, we have an imbalance with China. That's the fact right now, and it's been going on for decades. And some type of sanction is probably needed, but are tariffs the right way to go? Well, we'll find out.
Certainly.
In fact, the stocks, I don't know how they're doing this morning, but yesterday it was a major sell-off.
Yeah, they got hit hard. Two things I want to mention about next week's show. On Tuesday, Pat Quinn Williams will be back. The MS Walk is coming up. And Randy Smith will be in on Friday, which is Good Friday. He is the guy who's responsible for what you see behind Steve, the cross. We'll talk about that on Good Friday with Randy Smith. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.